Good morning, children. Today we are going to start the first lesson of your novel book, that is Robinson Crusoe. Before I read the story, I'll just introduce you to the main character, that is Robinson Crusoe, and also tell you what the story is all about. Robinson Crusoe is a famous novel written by Daniel Defoe. Robinson was born in 1632 and was the son of a merchant who wanted him to become a lawyer. But Robinson had his own passion to pursue. He had deep love for seafaring adventures. He made sailors his friends and went on several sea voyages. Life for him was an adventure. He was faced by many ordeals and challenges, but he never cowed down. He faced all the challenges with confidence. He had great faith in his own abilities. Now, in this story, we'll read about one of his sea voyage where his ship got wrecked by a violent storm and he had to land on a deserted island. He had to face a lot of hardships there, but he still managed to survive. Now, let's read and find out what happened there. Robinson Crusoe. Robinson was born in 1632. His father was a merchant. He wanted Robinson Crusoe to do law and settle down in York City. But Robinson Crusoe had deep love for seafaring adventure. He made friendship with some sailors and took his first voyage to London from the seaport Hull. On 1st September 1651, he set the sail. There, the ship was rocked by a violent storm very soon. Young Robinson was scared to death. After some struggle to pump out the water, they had to leave the ship. The moment they boarded a lifeboat sent by a lightship, their own ship started sinking. Lightship took them to Cromer. From there they walked to Yarmouth. They were given new clothes and some money to go to London or their homes. He did not wish to go back home for fear of being called a coward. Robinson befriended a captain and took his merchandise for 40 pounds in the ship which was sailing to Guinea in South Africa. Now, merchandise means goods for sale. He sold them and brought back gold dust. He sold the gold dust for 300 pounds. He left 200 pounds with the widow of the captain. He set sail with merchandise bought for 100 pounds. But this time, the ship was attacked by Turkish pirates. He was taken as a slave. He had to work in his master's garden. Once, he had a chance and he escaped along with a slave called Zuri. Luckily, he was rescued by a Portuguese cargo ship and reached Brazil safely. He collected 100 pounds from the captain's widow and invested the money in sugar plantation in Brazil. He became rich in 2 years. He entrusted the management of the plantation to some royal servants and left for Africa. This voyage was the most dangerous, but opportune one. Opportune means appropriate time. It was during this voyage he was destined to become a lifetime adventurer. So it was a turning point for him which changed the whole course of his life. Off the coast of America, the ship dashed against a rock and broke into two. Robinson was the only survivor. He was washed ashore to an island. Island is a piece of land surrounded by water. It was almost completely uninhabited, means no person was over there on the island. To make his stay in the island comfortable, he made a ferry and brought ashore the merchandise found on the ship. There were gunpowder, ink, quilt, and some animals. He started maintaining a diary. He wanted to make a shelter safe from animals and other dangerous intruders. He made a strong fence around the plot where he had decided to build his tent. He built the tent in front of a cave where he kept all his provisions and gunpowder safely. With crude tools, he made a table and stool. He made a plot of clay and cooked his food in a self-styled oven. He saw some corns and just threw them out. They germinated. Germinated means it grew. He started cultivating them. He got 2 sacks of corn. He devised an indigenous method of grinding the corn into flour. Indigenous means original. And so you see that Robinson had now started to work over there on the island for his survival. He baked cakes too. He found a sweet spring and fertile land. He built his summer house there with a huge fence around. He trapped goats and domesticated 50 of them. He milked them. He built a pen for them. His dogs guarded them from stray animals. He wore sheepskin coat. For many years, he did not see any humans on the island. He salvaged some wine, gold, and even a Bible from a wrecked ship before it sank. He read the Bible when he had leisure time. He was afraid that he may be attacked any time. He always roamed the island with his gun and the dog. He had spent 22 years on the island. He saw huge footprints on the seashore one day. There were bones and skulls of human strewn around, means thrown around. Obviously, some cannibals had brought their prisoners there, killed, cooked, and eaten them. After some days, something happened that changed the course of his life forever. A band of savages were making merry around the fire. Now, savages are uncivilized people. They had killed one and were about to kill another human being. Meanwhile, one prisoner started running away. He jumped out of a canoe and started moving to the area where Robinson was staying. 2 cannibals started chasing him. Robinson stood between the running slave and the savages. He attacked one with the butt of his gun and shot the other who was aiming an arrow at him. The runaway was trembling. He touched the feet of Robinson and gestured that he would be a faithful slave to him forever. Robinson could not understand his language. Both of them buried the dead savages. Robinson christened him as Friday. Christian means named. Friday was very quick to learn. He wore the goatskin coat. He cooked food for Robinson. He learned to speak broken English too. He helped Robinson cultivate more lands and raise more goats. Friday brought the news that 17 white men were brought to the island as prisoners. Robinson realized that it could be a golden opportunity for him to go back to the civilized world and meet his family too. Robinson Crusoe and his slave Friday built a canoe and kept it hidden from rain and sun for some time. Savages had come again with another batch of prisoners. One among them was a white man. After a fight, Robinson saved one white man. The savages escaped in boats. When Robinson wanted to chase them, he found another prisoner at the bottom of the boat. He was almost dead. Friday discovered that it was his own father. A hostile tribe had captured Friday's island. The white men in the island were also in trouble. After some time, Robinson spotted a ship anchored near the shore. He found the captain of the ship and two of his friends held captive and abandoned on the shore. He learned that his crew had rebelled against him. There were 17 of them. 5 were treacherous. Treacherous means dangerous. They had influenced the whole crew to rise in mutiny against the captain. They wanted to escape, leaving the captain behind. Robinson set the captain free on condition that he would accept his leadership. The captain was willing. Robinson Crusoe, Friday, and the captain took over the ship and overpowered the rebellious crew. The 5 treacherous crew members wanted to be left in the island, fearing the legal action in London. Robinson went home. He found that his parents were dead. His 2 sisters and 1 brother got married and had their own kids. Robinson went to Brazil and sold the sugar plantation. Then he returned to London. He lived for a brief period with his relatives. His brother had 2 children. He again set the sail. He went to South America, Brazil, and to the island, and then retired from his adventurous life. With this, we come to the end of the story, and I hope everyone enjoyed the story and also understood it. Thank you and have a nice day.